John. So we're going to take a minute to change gears here. According to Eric Zakim, the Zionist slogan, Livnot ulehibanot, was taken on by early settlers of Palestine as they worked the land. But it was also meant to reinvent the very notion of what it was to be a Jew in the modern world. So in a sense, the prosumer, I suggest, has been with us throughout our history. It actually seems to me that every time Jews have faced a dramatic change in their situation, they have worked to reinvent Judaism and themselves as Jews in the context of the time. For example, after the destruction of the Second Temple, Jews had to reorganize and reinvent Judaism in exile and to create rabbinical Judaism. Following the Holocaust and with the inception of the State of Israel, Jews again had to reinvent what it was to be a Jew in the Jewish state, as well as what it meant to be a Jew in the diaspora. Today, technology has presented us with a new paradigm. It has so dramatically shifted our engagement with the world that the Jewish community, again, is reinventing, reconnecting to the pioneering spirit, today termed prosumerism, in which we reimagine, we rework, we re-understand, and we rebuild a meaningful Judaism. During this conference, we've been listening to some really exciting, profound, and thoughtful ideas about how and why we have evolved our consumer behavior to incorporate the prosumer in Jewish culture and education, how the advent of the internet and newly developed technologies have made an amazing amount of data available to us at all times, and how this has assisted in the resurgence. When the World Wide Web met us, very obsessed consumer, there was a dynamic shift in how we viewed ourselves. Of course, we became even more consumer-driven, but this time we demanded that the goods, the tools, the products meet our increasingly individualized needs. So we began to develop platforms by which to navigate and search, filter information, create, and build. A great example of this is Haggadot.com, which I hope you are familiar with. It's a tremendous site where you can build your own Haggadah from various sources and traditions, as well as input your own material. I think it's truly amazing that every family can create their own Passover experience viewed through their particular lens and time. So while all this is happening, we are in the midst of another very exciting trend, a trend which is actually grounded in resourcefulness, utility, and the actual ability to make and build things on our own. And I suggest that by embracing this trend, we evolve from being only intellectual creators of our world to actual creators of our world and experiences. It is the intersection of this trend with the unprecedented connectivity provided by technology that demands a prosumer response. It demands livnot ulehibanot. However, in the North American Jewish community, I think we perhaps have a more challenging time accepting this type of shift, because it requires that we let go of some long-held stereotypes of who we are and what is valued within our community. We are exceptionally proud of our academic and intellectual achievements, however, to the point of dismissing other ways of engaging in the world. It is high time that we challenge the implicit classism within our Jewish community, which values intellectual activity and demeans other forms of creativity. While this feels novel, I do want to remind you that we have done this in the past, not just a reworking of who we are, but this specific shift which values other forms of intelligence. In claiming this shift, we will finally allow all of our members to be productive and essential, and not only those with intellectual prowess. Finally, accepting our diversity will enrich us. So enabled by these technological advancements and increased customization, we can capitalize on these more fundamental trends. The resurgence of the prosumer and the trend of resourcefulness provide us with a unique opportunity to create new places and methods of learning that welcome otherwise neglected Jewish students. The technology of the web means that we can locate and communicate with segment of our community that needs this opportunity most. Not every Jew wants to pursue a professional career, and I don't think we should encourage it. There's a high level of skill and knowledge in farming and carpentry. They are vocations which are not only necessary for society to function, but they are also fulfilling in a way that professionals can only imagine. Picture the learning, the co-creating that can happen when we use Jewish agricultural practices to teach farming, insight into ecology, and the connection to history and tradition, coupled with the deep satisfaction of feeding a community. Chabad, so immersed in textual study, has recognized this need, and they have opened at least 2 vocational education schools for their students. Progress is not only a linear function leading to higher education. Instead, let's measure our progress by the myriad of opportunities we take advantage of and present to our students. So I want to know today, can we do this? Can we as a community take the risk, the leap, meet the challenge of not only embracing this new and exciting trend, but also expanding our understanding of who we are while we are doing it? Can we allow that the Jewish community participate in this trend not only as intellectual creators of experiences, but as actual creators as well? I want to know, what does Judaism and the Jewish community look like when we have Jewish farmers and welders, master electricians and carpenters? How do these possibilities transform who we are and how we participate in the greater world? How do these possibilities develop and transform our Jewish experiences? So I am born in Israel and was deeply and strongly affected by kibbutz life, and I currently live in a very small rural village in Iceland. And over the last 3 years, away from the North American Jewish community, I've had ample opportunity to be affected by my incredibly rugged and resourceful environment, while at the same time I've had an opportunity to reflect upon Jewish education. And I want to be honest, it has taken me at least a year to overcome my own biases and understandings of what it means to be a Jew and to be able to crystallize my vision of a Jewish vocational high school. Today, I ask you, leaders of the Jewish community, to suspend your own notions and perceptions of what it is to be a Jew in the world, and to allow for an expansion of your understanding, to allow for Jews to be more than the dominant image.
Today, I will challenge some of the basic assumptions we hold in the North American Jewish community and ask us to imagine a Jewish vocational high school. As we imagine as a community an environment in which students produce their experiences, what could be more satisfying than spending their days getting dirty and acquiring the skills and knowledge in order to be producers of their world? Imagine a school where Jewish students are learning to make and do and create with their hands, where they are literally given the opportunity to build their world, grow their world, and connect their world. Imagine walking into a Jewish school where students are learning Jewish agricultural practices as they learn to work and manage a small-scale local farm, where the cycle of the Jewish year, so rooted in agriculture, actually takes on a real meaning. Imagine some of these students learning to be shochtim. Imagine other students working in the kitchen, playing with the ever-expanding definition of kashrut and eco-kashrut, creating menus and feeding the school community. Now, let's walk to another area of the school where students are in wood and metal shops, acquiring the skills for carpentry and welding, while at the same time learning from the Tanakh about the building of the Mishkan and studying with artisans who create the rimonim, yadayim, and breastplates for the Torah. They also work to do routine maintenance in the building and the farm. Students interested in textiles work with fabrics and yarns, understanding the prohibitions of shatnez, the mixing of flax and wool, perhaps working with natural dyes to try and discover the biblical source for the color tchelit. They work to provide what is needed for the school dining area while learning the crucial skills of textile work and production. Seriously, imagine for a minute a Jewish school where a curricular goal is the acquisition of skills and knowledge for acceptance into further educational programs, whether that is workforce training, community college, or a four-year university. How many of you knew someone while you were growing up, or know someone today who didn't thrive in school, not in primary nor secondary? Students who lost interest early on in the traditional classroom and who were looking for more concrete ways to spend their learning time. How many of them went on to college because it seemed the only option? Not everyone should go to college, and honestly, not all Jewish students should go to college either. The North American Jewish community, by and large, systematically funnels its children through school, expecting everyone to achieve academically and become part of the professional world. by which we mean a very narrow offering of professional options. You know the list: doctors, lawyers, bankers, academics, teachers, Jewish professionals. What has been glaring to me in recent months is that this list is exceptionally narrow, limiting not only the professions available to our students, but the way in which the Jewish community participates in the greater society. The Jewish community has taken on the identities of learners and academics. Our expectations in line with the growing number of Americans earning college degrees in search of upward mobility, and I'm not here to disparage this route. Today, I want to talk about how we have limited our children, ourselves, and community, and offer another option. I propose the development of a Jewish vocational high school, Yadayim, as a place where Jewish students can learn concrete skills and literally participate in creating a new vision of the Jewish community, one in which Jews participate professionally in a wider array of work within our community and society, informed by Jewish education and values. This is a place where Jewish students would use their hands to build and make and do, to create and recreate their world as Jewish skilled workers. We are suffering from high unemployment and the seemingly paradoxical skills gap. Master electricians are aging, and there are fewer and fewer machinists and welders. We are in the midst of an exciting food revolution, demanding more, smaller, local farms to feed our communities. In the past, the Jewish community has taken on the challenge of meeting the needs of society, and it is time that we do it again.
Thank you.